Recently, everyone is talking about LLM harness. So it's very important to understand what's the concept is. So LLM harness basically means it's kind of a ecosystem that helps the LLM to run. So if LLM is a brain, then the harness means that it's kind of a ecosystem, and we can think of it as a different kind of a body part, maybe like a hands. That brain would give the signal, but whatever the actions would be performed would be depending upon all of these harness. So let's break it down how LLM harness works and actually what is the importance of LLM harness at this point. So I have prepared this document in which I have used multiple 16 resources and combined all of these documents to explain what is the actual meaning of LLM harness. But before we deep dive into it, we need to understand that recently the Claude Code was leaked. There are some information that got leaked over the GitHub, and someone from the MBZUAI University found out that it's only 1.6% AI in Claude Code, and all the other things in there is just about how they have set up the infrastructure around their code. So that is actually LLM harness. So basically, you can use the same Claude Code in different environment. I can use the Claude Code on their website, the web UI that they have. I can similarly use the Claude Code using the terminal, which is called Claude Code. And I can use the same thing in different tools, maybe the Google's anti-gravity, which is another software. In all of these three different places, the output would be the same, but the output that we actually see would be totally different. And that is because of this environment, this ecosystem. So that is basically the easiest definition of LLM harness. And it's not a simple thing. It's creates a lot of impact. It alters a lot of results. So the company which wins the race is the company that works on this harness a lot. So they have like 512 lines of Claude Code, and they have found out like 98.4% is the harness. It's basically routing, like how the output is shown, and how it's recovery, and how we can control these output. And the AI decision, it's only 1.6%. Yes, it's hard to believe that Claude is only 1.6% AI company, and 98.4% is more about how this shows the output. And one of the thing is you can change the model, but you can't change the environment. So I can use any different model. So if I'm using Claude Code, I can even change the model to something else, maybe the DeepSeek model or any other different LLM. But the output that I would be getting would be totally different, and the output would be pretty good every time because the hardness engineering that is being done behind the Claude Code is very, very good and impressive as compared to other tools in the market. So whenever we talk about this production model, we need to consider six different parts there. So first of the part is the loop. So the loop says that whenever we get the output, we put our input to the model and the model will give the output. So should they show me the output in the first instance, or they reiterate couple of times and see if the output is looks good? If it looks good, then they only would show me the output. So that is the loop. And now the second one is the tool. So the tool means different type of tools you are using. So if I'm building a website, use those tools that would help in the front end designing. If I'm doing a research work, use those tools that would help in the research environment, look for the papers, make the dots connect, and it covers everything like MCP, different skills. Now the next one is context, like how well you can save all the memory and all the helpful information about the project that we are doing. So context and memory works hand in hand. And then we have the control flow, that how we move, and as we move, where is the information flowing. And the guardrails is we don't want any rubbish information there. So this is basically the flow. As a user, we just prompt it. The model would get the input and it would generate the output, but that output would not be the output that the model would show to you. It would parse it, and it would use all the tools that are possible, and then it would see that is this the result that you actually want. If yes, then it would answer. But before answering and returning you the exact output, it would again ask the model and it would reiterate. And there are a lot of models which create this harness automatically. So they keep on updating their rules of this harness, that how the environment should look automatically. So basically, this is kind of a loop in code that's happening. And one of the example is here. So in this example, people have used the same model, same task, just the different environment. And based on the different environment, they have seen a huge gap. It's not a small gap. So consider that we have three models. We have Opus 4.5, Sonnet 4.5, and Haiku 4.5. So these are the different Claude models. And they have used that models in three different environments like Claude Code, Cursor, and IDER. And for all of them, you can see the gap, that how much gap they are. Like same model, same task, everything is done same. But if we see there's a huge gap between the different environments. So that is how much the harnessing matters. And now there are multiple tools that people use. There is a Claude Code, there is a Cursor that helps the people to code. There is a IDLE, which is open source. You don't have to pay. So it's been like pretty popular between the developers. There is a Codex CLI and there is a AutoGPT. But out of all of them, the best harnessing till today is by Claude Code only. And people have confirmed that after the leak. So because of the leak, now we know much more about it. And when we talk about the hardness, there we need to decide and make the decision based on how many tools are available, what is the context budget. So when we say context budget, I would create another video for it so you guys can understand what context means. But just for the information, suppose if I have one page and if I have 1,000 page, so what is the budget of the LLM that it can see 1,000 page together, or it can only see one page together? So the quality of the output depends upon that. And context is a bigger problem. I'll leave this for the next video. And then how many loops it takes. So basically it takes 20 loops. So before showing you the output, it asks the same model, AI model, again and again. Is my answer correct? Is it aligning with what user is asking? And a lot of things going on inside there. And then we have the guardrail strictness. So the guardrail basically means it shouldn't give something useless. There shouldn't be any abusive things going on there. So guardrails helps with all these things. And then there is a memory layer. So the memory layer means suppose if you come back and resume the session, there should be a memory so you don't have to explain everything again and again, again and again. So this is basically the 98% of the Claude Code, and only remaining is just the model. So as it says by the Vishal, which is a very famous around the dev community, that the model is the brain and the harness is the hands, and then the action is being done. I'll put this file in my description. So if you guys want to have a read in depth, please go through it. I have added all the references that's been possible from last 1 year, and you can have a look to all these in depth if you need.